Hey everybody. Just wanted to record a brief video to show some of the latest reporting enhancements in Ruddr. These went live about a week ago, and there's some pretty cool stuff in here. So if you've used Ruddr, you're familiar with this screen. This is the report library screen in Ruddr. This is your full inventory of all the built-in reports. And these reports are categorized. So you've got time reports, expenses, utilization, forecast, plan, variance, etc. So that remains the same. And you've always been able to favorite reports, but now you can favorite reports and they get stored in a My Reports area. So if there are certain reports that you run frequently, based on your job function, there may be a subset of these reports that um, just are ones that you might run more often than others. You can click that star icon, and that's going to move those reports into your My Reports area. So that makes it really easy to very quickly access reports that you use most frequently. So next thing you might do is you might need to run a report and save it. So you can now click on a report. Let's say I want to run a time entries report for last month. And maybe I only want to look at time entries that are in a pending approval status. So I'm going to choose that status, hit apply. And I've got these time entries here. So if this is a report that I want to run on a regular basis, maybe I run this once a week or once a month, what I can do is save it. That way I don't have to remember exactly what the filters are. So I can just hit save here. I can give it a name. So we'll say time entries last month pending approval, and then I can give the report a description. I can use either fixed dates or relative dates. Fixed dates would be like June 1st to June 30th. Relative dates, if I had selected last month as the filter, at any time I run this report, it'll always run on whatever the most recent month is. So in this case, I'll choose relative dates, and then I can save this to My Reports. A workspace admin can also save to the library. So we'll look at that in a minute. That's a brand new feature. So we'll save this to My Reports. I click Save. I get the results of the report. If we go to My Reports, I still have my favorites at the top, but now I have a saved reports section. So I might end up with 40 or 50 reports that are in my saved reports. If there's a subset of my saved reports that I run very frequently, I could then favorite a saved report. That's going to move the saved report up here into my favorites. I can also do this same type of thing as a workspace admin. So first thing I can do is instead of favoriting a report, the workspace admin has the ability to pin a report. When a report is pinned, it gets moved to a featured section at the top of the library. So you can think of this almost like a workspace favorite, but effectively, what this does is it allows the workspace admin to curate a list of what he or she feels are the most important reports for that particular workspace. So those reports will show at the top of the library for everyone in the workspace. Now, you have to have permissions to that type of report to see it, but if you have permissions to that type of report, you'll see it in this featured section at the top of the library. Now, the other thing I may want to do is I may want to customize the filters on a report in the library and then save it to the library. So we'll run the time entries report again. This time I'll run it for this week, and I will filter it this time for not submitted. So this is showing me all of the time entries created and dated this week that are in a not submitted status. And maybe this is a report that everyone in the workspace needs to run regularly. So we might set these filters, hit save. As a workspace admin, I might come in, give this a name, time entries this week not submitted, and then choose relative dates. But in this case, I'm going to save it to the library, not to My Reports. So I click Save to the library, hit the Save button. Now when we go back to the library, we're going to see this floppy disk icon next to that new report. So that indicates that this is essentially a custom report that's been saved to the library by a workspace admin. So it's not a built-in report. I could filter this list of reports if I just want to see the custom reports or just the standard built-in reports or all reports. I can control that. Also, the workspace admin may choose to pin that report. And that pins it up into the featured area, or each individual could then come and favorite that report. So those custom reports can be treated like any other report in terms of being pinned or favorited. So pretty good functionality there. And then last thing to mention is you can now schedule reports to run on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, and Ruddr will automatically run the report, export the report to your desired format, either CSV, comma separated value, or Excel, and then let you know that the report is available. So, for example, let's say we want to run that time entries last month pending approval report on a schedule. We'll come in here to schedules, hit the plus button. We will scroll down to that particular report. So time entries last month pending approval. Maybe I want to get that in Excel format. I could run that daily. It'll run at 8:30 in the morning. I could run it weekly and tell Ruddr which day of the week to run it at. It'll run at 8:30 in the morning on that day. Or maybe I want to run it monthly. I want to run that on the third day of each month. I want to run a report for the time entries in the prior month that are still pending approval. Maybe those are the entries we need to get approved. So go ahead and run that. I'm going to set that for the third day of the month. Maybe I want to be emailed when that report is ready. Hit save and close. Now we have a report in our schedule, and each workspace member can create as many of scheduled reports as they want. And they'll be notified if they check that box. They'll be notified when the report runs. They can also manually run the report. So we could click here and manually run it. And then as these exports are run, whether they are run automatically via a schedule or whether they're run manually, they will show up in this exports screen. So this screen is going to keep files available for 30 days, and I can just click this download button, and I'm going to get either the Excel output or the CSV output, whichever I configured for that particular report. So yeah, that's it. Some really cool features there. Hope everyone likes those. Let us know what you think. And if you are interested in Ruddr, we'd love to hear from you. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much.